DownHome Up Close is brought to you by...
When you walk into your home, the first thing you come in contact with is your floor. You want it to be reliable and stylish, and you want to be sure you have the right professionals to design and craft it. OC Rugs has you covered. They provide durable products that stand the test of time and custom designs that will fit your aesthetic and preferences. OC Rugs products are constructed to be stable and prevent skidding, so anyone, whether you're taking your first steps or it's your first time visiting, can feel confident getting around your home. OC Rugs features products from Cooper Family Floors, a mobile, family-owned business committed to providing quality floor service at affordable prices. Cooper Family Floors puts the needs of the customer first, always seeking to make each project better than the last. They provide luxury vinyl plank and laminate flooring, as well as carpet and pad, engineering wood, and tile. Cooper Family Floors has a combined 42 years of flooring experience and will put that wisdom to work for you without breaking the bank. Whether you need a new floor installed in your home or the right rug to complete your perfect design plan, OC Rugs and Cooper Family Floors will get the job done right. Visit OC Rugs at their Lancaster showroom, located at 1920 North I-35E, or visit their website at www.ocrug.com. For Cooper Family Floors, call 214-437-7424 or visit www.cooperfamilyfloors.com.
Waxahachie ISD is a growing school district that embraces innovative curriculum and teaching methods while still honoring our traditions of excellence. Our academic programs and exceptional teachers and staff allow every student to excel on every campus, every day. Waxahachie ISD's fine arts, athletic, career and technical education, and other extracurricular programs are respected throughout the state for their long histories of success. We are proud to be a vital part of the city of Waxahachie as we work hard each day to educate the next generation of our city's leaders. We are Hatchie Forever. Roll Tribe.
Hey Ellis County, this is Kevin Crouch with Ellis DownHome, and I'm here with Amy, who is the content manager and usually the person doing the interviewing, and she's usually behind the camera or interviewing somebody, that kind of thing. So kind of a different setup than you're used to here. So, welcome to this side of an interview, of a segment.
Thank you.
But we have been going through this series where we're kind of introducing different members of the team. And we wanted to make sure that you guys had a chance to get to know Amy, get to know the person that really is driving the content and has many great ideas and connections and has, I think you have a really good eye for those great stories and those really interesting people that are serving our county so well and bringing arts and love and just all the best things,
all the
to our
feel-good
communities.
things.
Exactly, which we really need right now. So,
Yeah.
So I want to start off just by asking, how did you get started with Ellis DownHome?
Okay. Well, I came on board almost 3 years ago. It'll be my 3-year anniversary in July. So when I stepped in, there had only been one person in my position, and they were kind of split between content and sales, and so it had been really challenging to do both, and so they decided they really need someone to just focus on the content, and so they brought me in full-time, and kind of the rest is history. I started learning more and more about the site, and it was set up by Bob and Becky Lynn. They are the founders of EllisDownHome.com, and so when I started, immediately I start, trying to look everything over and probably overanalyze everything because that's what I do.
Right.
And they were so patient with me just to, answer all my questions and help me to understand, what are we trying to do here, and what could we tweak or change or make better. And so it was really fun to come in and learn it all and just be able to be creative and do that. It was intimidating on the one hand because I have never worked in the media before, and I was pretty clueless as to what that means. And so, kind of being thrust into the media world, I had a lot to learn, and that took some time, to kind of get used to how you navigate that. In a small town, I think it can be maybe more challenging because you're friends with so many people that you're working with and interacting with, and just trying to navigate all of those connections and relationships is challenging sometimes. So, but it's been great. It's been really
Awesome.
good.
And you mentioned trying to learn kind of the media landscape and social media and all those kind of things that are always changing. So I can only imagine the challenge there, getting to know it versus trying to keep up with it from that point, because there's just always new things out there.
Yeah.
And something else that's changed a lot is our communities here. I mean, Ellis County is growing so fast. I remember when Waxahachie stopped at 287 bypass. Now that's unimaginable.
I know.
Because so much of what's busy in Waxahachie is north of there. And Amy and I are cousins, and we grew up here. We've been in Waxahachie pretty much all our lives at this point. And so we've seen this growth. And each of us, in different ways, have really gotten to know the community, to understand what's changed and yet what's stayed the same, and how where we've been has kind of shaped where we are now. So I want to get your perspective on how you got to know the community the way you know it now versus just, when we were growing up, it's like we know where the grocery store is, we know our parents' friends. That was kind of, the world seemed so much smaller. But even at this point, Ellis County is just so much bigger and there's so much more to it. So tell us a little bit more about how you got to know the communities that you work with through Ellis DownHome. Just a little bit in a bigger way.
I mean, growing up here, I think that you don't always appreciate where you are and how special a place really is until maybe later in life, and you are raising your own family, or maybe you move away for a little while and then come back, and it's like, wow, this is a really special place. And so I think that it was a great place to grow up. I didn't appreciate it at the time. I thought it was way too small and not fun enough, like we all kind of do. But looking back, it was a pretty idyllic place to grow up, and it's a awesome place to raise my family, and you too. And so it's been interesting how, like right here where we are sitting is probably close to it or part of the old farmland that our great-grandparents farmed and settled here. But it's, you think about your ancestors and just the hard work that they did and the legacy that they left to kind of pave the way for us. And now we're still here and giving back to our community in the way that we feel responsible to do. And that's just really special. So, and I've also been a photographer for going on 21 years. And so that has had me all over the county as well. Just, working with, every corner of people, in Ellis County and beyond. And so it's been neat to meet so many people over the years and be able to work with so many different kinds of people and capturing people's memories and, special events and things like that. So it's been really neat to live here and to now work here.
Absolutely. And I definitely remember all the photography work. I remember you many times taking the family pictures and trying to corral us, which was
almost impossible
in and of itself. With our cousins all spread to the four winds, and then trying to get us to sit still long enough to get that perfect shot. And I know that our roots kind of contributed to your photography work. So tell us a little bit more about how you got into that, and then how that paid off in terms of helping you grow into what you're doing now with Ellis DownHome.
Yeah. So our grandpa was a hobby photographer. He was really good. He just had a really neat eye, and he took pictures of all kinds of things. I remember him taking pictures of flowers or animals or us, and he just always had like a really special eye for people and things, and I was just fascinated by it. And he gave me my first camera and taught me how to use it. It was fully manual, film, 35 millimeter film. And I loved that thing. I still have it. And it's so special to me because it's kind of where I launched off in my own creative journey. And so So that's just enormously special that that I was able to continue that.
Right.
And so, I went to A&M, pursuing this other career.
Yeah.
I was going to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And, always had this dream to be a photographer. That was my dream job. But especially back then, it was very unrealistic.
Right.
Photographers back then were usually like a mom and pop, very experienced. It was all film, all manual. I mean, there was nothing digital on the scene yet. And so it was very intimidating and almost unimaginable back then. And so I was just I kind of resigned to that. And I thought, well, I think I'll just, do what's predictable and stable. And, that's a nice dream, but, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I ended up not finishing at A&M. I came home and got married and was going to school here to attempt to finish my degree here locally. And the photographers that photographed our wedding were Ray and Janie Ivy in Midlothian. And just precious people. And I all but begged them to hire me, to let me tag along. I'm sure I was so eager, and I remember them just being so gracious with me, and I was like, I'll do anything. I'll hold your clipboard. I will write down numbers. I will do anything. Just please let me come and learn. And at the time, I still wasn't like, hey, I'm going to be a photographer. Mm-hmm. It was just, I'm so passionate about this. I'm so interested. And so they let me, and they took a huge leap of faith and hired me, and I started working there. And but tragically, shortly after I came on with them, Ray was diagnosed with cancer, and he passed away very quickly and suddenly from that. And it was absolutely devastating to his family, of course, and to anyone who knew him, because he was just that great of a person, and so creative and so gifted. And so that time was really scary. It was scary for them. This was their income, their livelihood. I really didn't know anything. I was so clueless. Yeah. I had just barely begun to learn the cameras and didn't even know how to load the film. And I just remember feeling like God was just holding us like this, and especially Janie. And he just gave her such grace and courage to say, well, let's just try to keep this thing going, and let's see what happens. And I had photographers from all over who were Ray's friends who took me on and would have me to their studios and give me these crash courses in manual photography. And here's how you load the film, and here's how you set the light. And I mean, I was like a sponge for many, many months, and just so grateful for the ways that they poured into me, and to Janie, just for risking, everything on this young, passionate girl who, didn't really know anything. Right. And so God just kind of carried us. That's all I know to say. He carried us through, and I think he honored, her step of faith, and he, allowed me to learn things quickly. And for 9 years, we kept it going, and until she was ready to step back and sell the studio and retire. And I eventually went on my own and had my own business. And but that time was really, really pivotal for me. I grew so much as a person, in trusting God, in realizing that sometimes our plans or other people's plans for us are not necessarily God's. Yeah. And that sometimes the unconventional way is actually the right way for you. Right. And so that was really, just really a special part of my story that I think really only God can really get the glory for that, because I was actually doing it all the predictable human ways. Yeah. And he intervened and said, actually, that dream you had, I'm going to see to that, because that's what I have for you. Right. And it was a lesson in like, wow, you know, sometimes he has much bigger and better, and we're just ready to play it safe.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
I know the feeling.
yeah,
I know it quite
you
well.
do.
So I guess one question, I'm kind of a follow-up to that I'm curious about, and you know, Ellis DownHome is all digital content. I mean, it's you know, so what was the transition like for you? And I think this speaks to the larger, just kind of the evolution of companies like Ellis DownHome, the world over. But what was the transition like going from having learned all of those manual skills and like all the intricacies and the nuances of all of that to going to a completely digital setup where it's like plug in a cord and you're good, you know? So what was it like to go through kind of that transition, and how long did things stay, I guess, the old way before you were operating completely digital?
Yeah. Well, I'll say that I pretty much got really comfortable and confident with film right before everything switched.
That's awesome.
And I will say the first digital cameras were not very good. Like the quality, like I could take a photo, and we actually did this a lot. We would practice with people. We would say, "Hey, we're going to do this part of your session on film and make sure we get what we get. Then we're going to like practice with our new digital camera." You know, and people were so gracious to let us do that. But then we could like compare the quality, and we would send in the film, get the proofs back, you know, be able to see how those looked, and then we'd be able to compare those to the digital quality.
Right.
And right at first, it was like I was kicking and screaming. I was like, "No, this digital quality is not ready. It's like I'm not ready to put that out there for customers." And so we, you know, funny. I mean, it's funny to think about that because I was probably one of the youngest in the industry, you know, the film industry,
Right.
to like be like kicking and screaming, not wanting to go into the digital age because I learned to appreciate and really respect the quality of film.
Yeah.
And it's really an art form. It really is. And I mean, there's so many great things about the digital, you know, journey and like what it has to offer, and the fact that we can see our work right there and make sure that our exposure is right and that our settings are correct and that we're going to get a good image. I can remember some of the first times shooting film, like especially my first wedding. I can remember, you know, you shoot the pictures and you don't like you're
You don't know until you develop
guessing.
them.
I mean, like you set the light like you think you should, and you take the pictures, and then you're basically a nervous, crazy wreck for 2 days because you turn in the film and you don't get those proofs back until 2 or 3 days later. And I cannot tell you the amount of anxiety I had.
And you can't get that time back. It's not like you can do a redo or anything like that.
And so now, I mean, you think about how much peace of mind that is for us photographers to be able to immediately just like look at our screen and realize that, okay, I'm good. You know, this is a good image. That's just not how I learned. And that's not what I experienced. And so I think that it, you know, I have a deep appreciation for those manual ways and those manual settings. And I think now, you know, this video work that we do, and even still in my photography, you know, I still shoot everything on manual. I don't ever shoot an automatic. Because I know it. It's like, it's just such an ingrained part of my brain now and my process that I pretty much know what my camera needs to be set on in any given lighting situation to get what we need to get. And I think that helps, you know, and I think just the 20 years of building confidence in that and learning through messing up and trying again and falling down, getting back up. You know, it's just all prepares you for continuing to be creative and taking risks and being able to just keep going, you know, in that way. So
awesome. It's got to do wonders for your confidence too. You know, just being able to.
It does. I still get really nervous.
Sometimes. Well, I mean, of course.
But yeah.
So we are a month in to a new year. I mean, usually it seems like we're just kind of doing like season 3 of 2020 or something. Season 2, I guess now, or 3, whatever. But
I've lost count. There's been so many volumes.
It's all blur now, right? We don't know space, time. What is that even? You know. So We just started 2022, and I know that we have high hopes for this year, and we have a lot of ideas that we want to pursue, and a lot of different things that we want to do. And not that we'll have the time to do everything we want to do, but
Sure.
what are some of the goals that you have for Ellis DownHome, that you have for yourself, in terms of where we can go with this platform, and with your photography, and with technology taking just more strides? What are some of the things that you want to explore and kind of bring to Ellis County?
Yeah. I mean, I think I want to just refine our storytelling, continue to find those really great stories that we want people in our county and beyond to hear. I think that, we're living in a culture where things are often very negative and
Right.
very discouraging and even depressing sometimes. And so my goal and mission for Ellis DownHome is to bring something to counter that, to bring people light, to show people the good things that are happening in our county and in our lives. And so I want more and more people to find out about us.
Right.
We're still kind of small and growing. I want more and more people to like our Facebook page and be able to have our stories pop up on their news feeds, and people to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I really want to cultivate, the things that we're putting out there on DownHome, to be kind of like, oh, I need to check DownHome today because
Right.
I wonder what they did today. I
Yeah,
wonder what
yeah.
story they've got going. I want people to know about us so that they can go there for that, 5-10 minutes of just like, I'm going to check out for a second this crazy
Right.
world,
Yeah.
and I'm going to
yeah.
read a good story. I'm going to watch a cool video
Right.
of somebody local who's doing something really cool. And so I think, that's my biggest goal, is just to keep sharing these great stories. I think keeping up with technology and always growing and learning in that way. And I appreciate you for that, because I feel like you come with a very technical gifting, and I know you've already helped me so much with that. And I just look forward to like how we can partner and both grow, our brands and work together. And I think also just community involvement. I
Yeah.
am very passionate about local nonprofits,
Right.
different things going on in the community. One of my personal passions is just dealing with racial injustice,
Right.
and let's talk about those things. Let's figure out how we can do better. And I know that sometimes we don't know where to begin, but really, if you begin at the local level, there's somewhere that you can make a difference.
Right.
There's something that you can do to first learn more things for yourself,
Yeah.
to where you can really get involved and give back.
Yeah.
And so, involving DownHome in some of that stuff.
Yes, exactly.
As a team, let's do things together to serve the community more,
Yeah.
and figure out where exactly we're supposed to be, kind of spreading that light and helping people and just doing good work.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that one of the things that I've learned through highlighting some of these people is that there are struggles in our communities, but usually there's somebody that's already working to address that, and they may just need a helping hand. They may need credibility, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And so sometimes they just need to know that someone's out there doing the work, and they just need a little bit of help. So hopefully this year we can go through the process of not only telling those stories, but educating on what struggles there are and who's out there already addressing some of those problems.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed getting to know Amy a little bit. It was probably a little more in depth than my talking about weather for however long.
I know. You're pretty passionate about that.
I know. You usually have to cut me off and be like, okay, we gotta eat something or something, right? So we will be back in I guess a couple of weeks with another introduction. And somebody you don't really see as often, but is definitely working hard. So thank you so much for tuning in. Go check out some of the other stories we've told. because as much as we have fun talking about each other, we really love telling those other stories. So go to ellisdownhome.com and check out some of the things there. Go to the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube page as well, and just check out the stories that we're telling, because we're not just talking about interesting things in the county. We are highlighting ways that these people are blessing our county and blessing us, and ways that you can get involved and get back to the community. So we can't wait to bring you more in 2022 and to continue telling stories. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.